pinafore. Last year I made this pinafore for Christmas and it was a bit of a disaster of a project. I had so many problems. I cut the skirt wrong, the zip doesn't look good at all, and the tweed was really stretchy for this kind of project. So this year I want to make another one, but in a different style. And I have this knit.
I don't know which side is right and wrong, they look quite similar.
In this sort of, it's not mustard, it's not yolk, it's pumpkin, I don't know, sometimes it's even a bit golden, it has some shimmery to it. So I'm going to make a sort of twiggies dress, a shift dress, and with some patch pockets on top.
And of course,
we have here our guests of the day, of every day. It's a block of measurements. If you don't have one of these, you can maybe trace your pattern from a t-shirt or a dress that suits you really well. And if you want to have a look at how I made them, I'll leave you the link in the description down below. And if you're not, consider subscribing, it helps the channel a lot and that way you don't miss anything. We're going to trace the pinafore out of our bodice block down to below our hip. After hemming the top of the pockets, we're going to put them in place and sew them to the front. We can now sew the pinafore right sides together and hem the neckline, armholes and bottom to finish it. It's going to be a simple shift dress style, and because the material is quite stretchy, I'm not going to add or try not to add any zips in. And if you don't have your block of measurements, you will need your bust contour and then your hip contour. And then of course the length you want to give it. For example, I'm going to give mine, I think, 80 centimeters. Obviously, to place this hip measurement on paper or on your fabric, you'll need something else. So you're going to need the distance between your bust measurement and your hip measurement, or you can also do it from your shoulder, from shoulder to where you took your hip measurement. After marking the hip line and the length we want it to be, we can now trace the whole piece taking into account the hip contour measurement. And to mark the bust darts, we need to make these triangles from the top of the bust to the front cross line and the armhole line. I traced the back, of course, taking into account my block, but then from the armholes down I used the front to trace it, so I didn't have to make any more calculations again about the hip and all that. I just traced the same. This is what I have left, a few strips of material, because of course I didn't say it in the beginning. This is a remand, of course.
I don't think you had any doubt.
I don't remember how much it was, but I was really lucky when I got all the rest, and I got this one as well. And for the pockets, I use the bits in between the armholes when I cut, so everything, we are making the most of our material. I've never done patch pockets before, so it's something new. I've done the normal hidden pockets on the side and trousers pockets matching with the fabric you have underneath. I'll leave you the link in the description. And then for these ones, we have to hem the top so it looks nice. But I think if we start folding stuff, it's going to look strange on top. You are going to see all this excess fabric. So what I'm going to do is to fold it, top stitch this and the sides, and then once it's done, put it right sides out so those seams are hidden. These are the pockets made. I had a few problems with the machine. I don't know if it was because of all the fur from the waistcoat the other day, or I don't know, it wasn't sewing properly. So I cleaned it, I greased it, I was trying with a bit of scrub for a while, and then I changed needles and tensions until I got it right. And I also top stitched this top bit so it looked a bit neater because it was wavy. And now to put it into place, I'm going to baste it first because all the bottom has a curve and I'm not risking not sewing it properly. To put the pockets in place, I folded the front bits lengthwise and then I mark where I want them to be. To sew the darts, we just have to pin all this triangle of material and just sew with a straight stitch.
This is how we're doing.
It looks like an apron. That's why they're called apron dresses sometimes, isn't it? Well, doesn't matter. So thank goodness I basted my pockets because they were quite tricky, because the material is a bit slippery and it's a bit tricky to sew. You have to keep messing around with your tensions and things like that. And another difficult thing is that the material is just plain color. So if you have a little mistake, it will show 3 times more than a pattern ball. If you have a stitch that the machine skipped, or if you have something that isn't folded properly, anything will show 100 times more. So you have to be really careful about that. But well, we're learning here. And now I'm going to sew it with the back right sides together. And to finish it, we just have to hem the neckline, armholes and bottom of the skirt. And this is the final result. Quite happy with the way I sewed it and with having tried new things like patch pockets that I had never tried before. Although it's really short, it's quite comfy to wear because you always wear it with tights or even leggings. So that's not a problem. And I think it would be really nice with a shirt or something that contrasted with the color. Thank you for coming with me along this project. Let me know down in the comments what you thought, if you made one, if you're going to make one, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, or even to share with someone who might like this content. See you next week. Bye.
gracioso.
Claro, pero de eso se trata, ¿no?
Esto lo pongo al final.
¿Y sí, mami?